Alrighty, in today's video, we're going to give you a best class setup for the VMP, which was just added as part of Operation Dark Divide to Black Ops 4. Last week, after they revealed the screenshot of what the new operation was going to look like, I mentioned that they were going to be adding the VMP to Black Ops 4, and I kind of predicted some of the different characteristics it would have, and it turns out that I was pretty spot on most of those characteristics. And what we'll go ahead and talk about is why I think this weapon is currently the best SMG within Black Ops 4. If you enjoy the commentary, the class setup, or the breakdown, feel free to hit that like button. If you're brand new to the channel and would like to find your way back, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on. If you happen to watch my video about the brand new operation, you'll know that I opened my weapon bribe, and this is one of the weapons I ended up unlocking. So unfortunately, yes, it is behind a paywall, so if you're looking to get access to it, you just got to earn those reserves or get those weapon bribes. So in Black Ops 3, the VMP had a rate of fire of 909 rounds per minute. And based off my hand testing, what I was able to find out is they bumped it up slightly to 916. In reality, it could just be a little bit of frame rounding. It could be 909, which is the exact same rate of fire of the SOG 9mm, which is one of those numbers that I kind of predicted based off how they're going to introduce the weapon into the game. I also said it'd have more recoil, and it does have more recoil than the SOG. Not quite as much as it did in BO3, because I think at range they still want you to be able to hit those shots, especially with the increased time to kill with the added health. So based off that, I also had to get the damage profile to figure out how many shots it takes to kill someone within Black Ops 4. And since the VMP doesn't have rapid fire or high caliber, the shots to kill is always going to sit between 5 to 9. Obviously, if the player isn't running body armor. And this is kind of also what I predicted. I said they'd probably take the damage profile of the Switchblade and combine it with the SOG, and you'd end up with the VMP, and that pretty much ends up being the case. And that's really where the Switchblade ended up edging out the SOG 9mm, was within its 5-shot kill range, which did not exist for the SOG. So having the SOG and the Switchblade basically being the top two SMGs in the game, and combining those, you're automatically going to end up with the #1 SMG in the game when you actually have the VMP. So what you've been watching in the background is the first match ever using the VMP, and initially I thought, hey, you know what, this weapon doesn't even need attachments, it's pretty strong all on its own. And as you'll see with the best class setup, I think there's certain attachments that actually benefit this weapon a ton and actually allow you to get into more consistent gunfights. So factoring in all the different information for the VMP, the best class setup in my opinion is going to be fast mags, extended mags with long barrel and stock. The main attachment that actually takes this over the top is long barrel, and the main reason for that is because typically with an SMG, you're going to choose your gunfights, you're going to make sure that your gunfights are within those short to medium ranges. And what I noticed is that if you weren't running that long barrel attachment, a lot of those gunfights at those medium ranges that you would actually take on with an SMG were taking 7 and 8 shots to kill, which is kind of excessive in my opinion. So by having that long barrel attachment, most of those gunfights that you would normally take on would be 6 shots to kill. And in the case of the VMP, it actually increases your 5-shot kill potential, so you might as well take advantage of that because the time to kill at that 5-shot range is very competitive at 264 milliseconds. We'll go ahead and transition to the tips and tricks portion of the video where I kind of break down my thought process as I play a match and kind of give you the how with the what. So obviously I gave you the best class setup. I hadn't quite unlocked it in this specific gameplay, but I did want to kind of walk you through my thought process because a lot of times what I talk about in this portion of the video will translate to a lot of the other weapons in the game. So if you're going to be using the SOG, the Switchblade is kind of going to fit in with these. Obviously, if you're using the GKS or the Cordite or one of the other SMGs, it might not necessarily line up with this perfectly. And that's kind of the whole point, is you want to go ahead and adjust your playstyle slightly to the weapon you're using and take advantage of its strengths and kind of avoid its weaknesses. And I'm going to show off where I'm actually taking advantage of its strengths. I'm going to point out where maybe I shouldn't have chose to take that gunfight because that's its weakness. Right here, I'm kind of in a tricky situation because I know that guy's on a head glitch. SMGs are not typically good on a head glitch. And the reason for that is because you have to land so many shots with that precision, and the recoil is typically pretty high, and the time to kill is a little bit slower at those ranges than with a rifle or with an LMG. What you're going to see, I am getting absolutely lasered for taking a gunfight maybe that I shouldn't have taken, and the main reason for that is I didn't really expect the guy to be there, but I do get lasered by an LMG. So right here, what I typically like to do at the beginning of my matches is play a little bit fast, play a little bit passive, and kind of combine that rhythm until I get my first set of streaks. Once you get that first set of streaks, it makes everything easier. You can see that YT kid left, and then we're going to end up getting a slightly easier lobby, and the people left behind are people that are just going to not want to deal with the streaks. I call on my thresher, another guy go ahead and leave the lobby. And sometimes that slows things down, and sometimes it can speed it up because then it makes the spawns very predictable. I end up taking this guy out with the hip fire, so that was a pretty clean kill. And you can see we're already starting to steamroll the lobby. I go ahead and get a quick reload in. I do have fast mags on. I hadn't quite unlocked extended mags, so you still are getting that benefit, but there's certain gunfights you would take knowing that you have that extra 10 bullets. And this death happened because I assumed the spawn had already been cleared out. I thought we were close enough to that edge where they probably wouldn't spawn there, but I was a little bit mistaken. It was just a hair off. It looked like 2 of them spawned there, and they were kind of anchoring the spawns. So when I came around the corner, the guy just walked out and ended up shooting me in the back. Right there, that's where the range with this gun doesn't do all that well. Obviously, I could have been a little bit more accurate. The recoil on this weapon does go up and to the right, exactly the way it did in BO3. So you got to be prepared for that, but it's nowhere near as strong as it was within BO3. So you can see how I'm kind of rushing around the map, trying to chase where the spawns are going to be and predict where they're going to be. Drop down my ammo. I can see this little shot cart following that way. And then I go ahead and push around this right side. And my teammates are on the left. So I still feel pretty good about this. I feel like there's going to be at least one guy over here. I didn't really expect that guy to be in the corner. He wasn't really visible. He's pre-aiming with the thermal titan. That's my bad for guessing that someone would actually move around the map. Unfortunately, I guessed wrong in that scenario. I ended up losing that gunfight. So I got to be cautious with those guys because they tend to fire the weapon. They got tons of ammo and they don't really miss because that gun doesn't have a ton of recoil. You just got to be aware of how you're taking those gunfights. Right here, I'm waiting to come to full health. I want to go ahead and re-engage this guy. You can see where my health is. End up taking the gunfight a little bit low health. I could have waited a little bit longer, but I end up winning the gunfight. So the moral of the story there is you win the gunfight, it pays off. If I didn't, then it was kind of a stupid push. So right here, I'm kind of iffy if the spawns will still spawn here. You can see my teammates are spawning by trailer. Those are things you got to be aware of. That means the enemies should be at the corners of the map. See the guy come through. I end up taking him out. I kind of jumped. I read the situation. I know there's another guy coming up. It looks like he took out my teammate. He's starting to run away, and then I can go ahead and line up my shot and get an easy kill. A lot of times my methods are about getting easy kills because for anyone that doesn't maybe have the best gun skill, they can close the skill gap a little bit because they're able to outsmart their opponent. And if you have particularly good aim and good gun skill, you're able to maximize that to a whole nother level. So if you're pretty much one kill off the next streak like I am now, you got to play your life, play a little bit more passive to at least get that streak, because once you get those streaks, again, it gets that snowball effect. Take that guy out, I'm able to attack 5 boost, get out of there, and now I have the sniper's nest. We're only 20 points off the thresher, and if we get the thresher, we're going to be so close to that strike team. Right now, you can see we're 10 points off, basically got it, because the sniper nest came in and did some work. So the other component of the streaks is the mental component, the mental pressure it actually puts on your opponents. There's certain gunfights that you're probably going to win that you probably wouldn't have won otherwise, just because they're so distracted by the thresher making all the noise, along with the sniper's nest and the strike team causing their own little bit of distraction. I know the guy's coming around. I know there's another one. I heal out. I'm taking the engagement, thinking there was another guy right around the corner. Wasn't necessarily the case, and I end up hearing this guy kind of come back around, take him out, and then I'm starting to go on another streak. I'm expecting someone to come out of this right side, but I'm not 100% sure. You can see my teammates are pushing, so I'm thinking maybe I can get a flank on this guy. Didn't quite work out. Strike team's coming through, causing issues. I'm shooting that guy in the back, get a nice clean kill. And I know there's another one somewhere over here. I go ahead and shoot him. I don't land all my shots perfectly. I kind of just avoid that, land a little bit of damage there, but then my strike team's coming in to clean that guy up with my teammate. So that worked out perfectly. There's a guy with the thresher. Take that guy out. As you can see, the VMP has a very fast time to kill if you're able to hit those shots at those close ranges. Right there is a gunfight that I don't want to challenge. Pretty much if that guy has a rifle or an LMG, he's more than likely going to win that gunfight unless he's just trash at the game. And the reason I say that is because 9 times out of 10, if I actually take that engagement, I'm going to lose that gunfight. And then I'm jumping out a little bit aggressively. I probably should have mantled up to get the high ground and maybe see if I can get at least a kill that way, because there were 2 of them. Neither of them popped up on the mini map. So there was no real way of me knowing they were both there other than playing cautiously and kind of mantling up, getting the high ground and kind of overseeing the situation before just blindly jumping out there. That's just a mistake of playing a little bit too aggressive. Right there, end up lasering that guy. He wasn't really paying attention. So that's where the situation's a little different. If the guy ends up turning to start shooting me, if I haven't done enough damage to close the gap between rifles and SMGs, that's where I kind of got to back off and play a little bit smarter. I'm getting shot from behind here. There's a guy chasing me down. So I kind of had to push through. So pretty much in that scenario, there wasn't really a good situation. I kind of watched it back a couple times to see if there's anything I could have done differently. I don't really know exactly where that guy was with pinpoint accuracy. So at the end of the day, there's not really a lot I could have done in the situation just because I didn't see anything then, and I still didn't see anything now. So overall, not a bad match. I ended up going 59-6. I probably could have cleaned up a few of those deaths in hindsight, which would have allowed me to streak up just a little bit better. Maybe if I didn't die to that Titan user, I could have got another set of streaks, which would have pushed me over 70 kills. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, hit the like button. If you're brand new around here, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.